IT Bearcats, welcome. This is your humble academic advisor again, Justin Gibson, coming to you live, as you can see, from my office over in the Student Services Center. And so this is the next installment of the IT advising vlog. If you remember, this is to create a platform for you to get additional information about your university rather than just trying to hear from me by email or career fairs or anything like that on campus. And so today I have with me Fran Larkin. Fran is the program coordinator for the Center of Community Engagement, and which is a tremendous resource to get your community service hours done and to meet some of your intrinsic and altruistic needs for the university as well. So, Fran, just a quick question. Just tell me a little bit about the Center for Community Engagement.
Absolutely. The Center for Community Engagement is an office that works to connect campus and the community through service. So we provide a lot of resources for students, and we empower students to, just like you said in the introduction there, to fulfill those altruistic endeavors that they have in order to not only complement and supplement what they're learning in the classroom, but also to become more aware of themselves and the needs of their community.
All right. Now, I know when I was an undergraduate here, I did a service learning trip to Costa Rica where I helped build a Habitat for Humanity house. Could you talk about some of the very unique opportunities there are for students to get involved in their communities or in the country or even throughout the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So our office tends to focus on a couple different avenues. One of the things we offer to students are our ongoing programs. So we have a couple signature programs that I'd be more than happy to talk to students specifically about. One is a tutoring program called Bearcat Buddies, where we take UC students into high-poverty Cincinnati public schools, and they tutor for about an hour and a half a week in either math or reading. And in the high schools, they work with some more specific subjects. But that's a great way for students to get involved on an ongoing basis would be through a program like that. We also offer one-time volunteer opportunities, campus-wide service events like Into the Streets in the fall, Green Up Day in the spring. But I think you also bring up a great point that there are some really unique and exciting ways for students to get involved. And one of the ways that they can do that is through service trips that are either domestic here in the United States or abroad, like the one you mentioned to Costa Rica. Sounds like an awesome experience. And the kind of go-to place that we would direct students who are interested in that kind of opportunity would actually be a student organization called Serve Beyond Cincinnati. It's a student organization that was incubated in the Center for Community Engagement, and then we launched it out so it could be sustainable and student-led. And so that organization does a number of domestic and international service trips, both during winter breaks and spring breaks and over the summer as well. So really cool way to get involved. Serve Beyond Cincinnati is a great way to do it. There will also be some classes that we can help you get hooked up with that will have an international or a service component to them. So there's so many different ways to get involved. It's really exciting.
Good. Well, my next question is because a lot of times they hear information about getting involved for me, so I think it would be helpful to hear from you. But why is it important for them to engage themselves in community service?
So that's a great question, and it's one that we really try to answer as often as we can. One of the things that is really going to make the most sense for students where they are is that getting involved in community service can be a good way to complement the things that you're learning in the classroom. So to get out there into the real world and apply some of the concepts that you may be learning about. For example, with IT students, there are a lot of great ways for them to give back their talents and skills that they have in that area that a nonprofit organization that serves an unmet need in the community just might not have the technical expertise, the time, the energy, or the skill to be able to pull it off. So to involve students in ways that, again, complement what they're learning in the classroom out in the real world is not only a great learning tool for students, but it's something that's going to look great on a resume, and then that can also help them network with people out in the community who may be hiring them in the future, or who may be able to propel them on to whatever their career is once they leave the university.
Okay. Now, in today's economic climate, students are very conscious about how much things cost, paying for tuition and room and board and books and things like that. Are some of these programs that you're mentioning affordable, even such as the Bearcat Buddies or traveling to Appalachia to help, or even somewhere as far as Haiti?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we talk about any of the programs and resources that the Center for Community Engagement offers to students, those are completely free. So being involved in a program like Bearcat Buddies, there's no cost associated with that. Students can just sign up online, and they choose which tutoring session works best for them. We offer 24 tutoring sessions a week. We actually even go beyond to remove any barriers that students might have to being involved in a program like Bearcat Buddies. We provide transportation. We hold the training here on campus. We actually cover the cost of the background check that they would otherwise have to go through. So we like to remove all those barriers so that students for Bearcat Buddies or for any volunteer experience can focus their time and energy on meeting a need in the community and serving others. They don't have to worry about the cost. But when we talk about service trips, like going to Appalachia or Haiti, the ones that you mentioned, there is going to be a cost associated with that. A lot of times that cost is subsidized either by the university or student organization. If we're talking about University of Cincinnati or class. But students can also take that opportunity to fundraise. They can ask friends and family to help them meet the cost of that. Of course, you're going to be living somewhere and eating and doing some things out in the community. Transportation is always a cost. So you have to factor those things in, things you would be spending money on anyway, no matter where you are, food, et cetera. You'd have to spend that money through a trip. But again, in terms of opportunities that the Center for Community Engagement offers, even fundraising for a trip like a University of Cincinnati trip is a great experience for a student and will help build a skill set in them that they can use beyond their time here in college. Fundraising is a huge one, and it's definitely a component of the service trips, whether they're domestic or abroad. But it's also a component of events like Relay for Life that raises money for the American Cancer Society. Great opportunity for students to get involved in. But again, working on that skill set of fundraising, which, believe it or not, is really going to be important as you move through your life and career and become an involved and engaged citizen no matter what community you're a part of.
Now, so what about time? Let's say if I wanted to volunteer to tutor math at a local high school, is there a certain requirement of time that I have to devote to that, or can I tailor make my own availability in that regard?
Yeah, time is definitely a concern for all the students we have. They have busy academic schedules, they have work schedules, they have life and family and many other things to kind of fit into that calendar. So what we do at the Center for Community Engagement is we try to find or provide opportunities and resources for students that fit them no matter what their availability is. So when we talk about a tutoring program, of course it's best practices to work with the same student on a consistent level. So whether that's for an entire academic year or at least one semester, we ask for a baseline commitment of about an hour and a half a week from our tutors. But there are, of course, other programs that may be more flexible that students can get involved in. And one that has somewhat of an IT lean to it would be volunteering with a place like the Cincinnati Computer Cooperative. Every Wednesday and Saturday, they invite students to come and work in their warehouse to revamp old computers, hardware, software, and get them out to low-income folks in our community, and also keep those computers out of the landfill. So an organization like that, the Cincinnati Computer Cooperative, again, they have volunteers that come out on Wednesday and Saturday in the afternoon and evening. So that would be an opportunity that would be a little bit more flexible. You wouldn't have to be there every Wednesday, but you could come and go depending on what your schedule would allow.
All right. Yeah, so you hear that, students? No excuses. No, little to no expense, or you can customize your own schedule. So, Fran, for my last question is, so I'm a student and I'm looking for these opportunities. Where can I find the Center for Community Engagement?
It's a great question. So the best place to start is to go to our website, which is uc.edu/CCE for Center for Community Engagement. You could also just go on the UC website and search volunteer or Center for Community Engagement. Any one of those keywords should bring you back to the CCE's webpage. And that's a great place to start to get a feel for what opportunities are out there. We have a resource called the Weekly Service Update. That's updated every Wednesday with a list of volunteer opportunities that nonprofit partners have submitted to us. So that's probably one of our go-to resources. We also have the online volunteer directory, which is an A to Z list of nonprofit organizations here in the region that have reached out to us and said, hey, we'd love to have UC students come work with our organization. If you want to find us in person, we're actually in Stratford Heights, Building 19. The physical address is 2639 Clifton Avenue, and we keep regular hours, so Monday through Friday, about 9 to 5, you can come find us over in Stratford Heights.
Fantastic. Well, Fran, I would like to thank you for coming and spending some time and sharing with our students some of the great opportunities that they have for civic engagement and broadening their horizons in that regard, and really getting a sense of themselves by helping other people. It's very important to do that, so I want to thank you. And for students, most of you at this point have already gone on co-op, so you understand some of the questions that they ask you during co-op. As far as your leadership abilities and the things that you've done, this is another great way and a very unique way to be able to build those leadership skills, as well as to help other people. I can tell you that really one of the most enriching parts of my student experience here from 2000 to 2005 was going to Costa Rica to build a Habitat house. As a matter of fact, I have my certificate right here from actually when I went. Because the experience was just so great for me. And I hope that you all have maybe not necessarily the same experience, but something that has just as much impact on your life. So with that being said, have a great semester. You know where to find me. I'm in 361 Dyer Hall. Shoot me an email, justin.gibson@uc.edu. If you need to make an appointment, give us a call at 513-556-2336. And again, thanks, Fran. And let me know if you need anything, students, and go Bearcats.